Hi guys, Brain here, and welcome to another commentary video. Today I'm going to be talking about the one thing I miss or want back from old DBD. Because I think that's a thing I've seen more so in terms of like Survivor streamers. They always call back to the old days. I miss old DBD. I miss old DBD. And I think that's just like a really it's like a very like old man screaming at the sky kind of saying, back in my day, so-and-so was different. Back in my day, there were like 4 infinites per map, and that meant that I could just do everything I want. Okay, but like, what do I want? Like, if I thought in my brain, I'm like, if I could bring back one thing from old DBD, what would I bring back? And I'm gonna tell you after these messages. That message being that if you like my videos, make sure you like them. Actually do the like button. And if you want to see more of my daily uploads, make sure you sub. And if you want to have those actually notify you, you have to bell those. That's just the rules now, and I hate it. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started. So if I can bring back one thing from old DBD, what would I bring back? I would bring back the old maps. That's what I would bring back. I'd bring back Blue McMillan. I'd bring back really green and actually able to see Auto Haven. I'd bring back spooky, scary, cold wind farms. I'd bring back all of that. I think one of the things that I miss more than anything from old DBD is the old art style. I think that like, while like a lot of the maps look quote unquote better from like a gaming standpoint, it's like, well, they technically look better. I think they don't fit the style and atmosphere of Dead by Daylight anymore. And it kind of makes me sad a little bit. The maps used to be a lot more like moody and scary. Like McMillan was this blue of night, and you were just in this dark forest, and everything was this eerie blue of the moon lighting everything. And now it's just kind of like this like foggy, vaguely nighttime map that's just kind of like, it objectively looks good, right? But like, it doesn't have that same atmosphere as the current McMillan does. Same thing with the Auto Haven maps. Like, the Auto Haven maps were, you know, it was a junkyard, but it was like the eerie white birch trees, and the ground was muddy and dirty. And I think the biggest thing that was like different for me is that like, for some reason when they remade the Auto Haven maps, they just kind of like turned up the contrast to like 39, like 30 million. And like now, like the shadows on the map are so dark that I can literally lose survivors hiding in those corners. Like, I really could. And like sometimes, like literally, I'm having to squint. Like for the first time in my life, I've considered using filters in Dead by Daylight, just because I like when I go to Auto Haven, I literally can't see. It's just hard to see sometimes, just because it's like the contrast is so high and the shadows are so dark. It's just, I hate it. Absolutely hate it. And I think there's like, one of the biggest like problems when it comes to like, hey, we made our map look like objectively good, but it doesn't really fit our game at all, are the cold wind maps. The cold wind maps, like literally, they don't look scary at all anymore. They're supposed to be like rotting, decaying fields. Like, this isn't supposed to be like a farm in existence. This is supposed to be a farm that's like kind of fallen by the wayside and rotted away after a tragedy, you know, took the owners, and now the crops and the soil are just gross, and it's like everything feels like it's decaying. That's no longer the case. It literally just looks like a normal farm now. And I made a whole video about how I hate cold wind a long time ago, so you guys probably already know that. But like, it objectively looks good. It looks like a good map, but like, it just doesn't fit a horror game at all. It doesn't fit a horror themed game. It's just like it looks like I can just go up and sit on Thompson House porch with Peepaw and just stare out my crops. Like, it doesn't look like it's scary anymore. It doesn't look like a horror map anymore, and it's just sad. I think one of the biggest victims of the map remakes is actually the Disturbed Ward, the Crotus Pen Asylum maps, especially Father Campbell's. Father Campbell's used to be my favorite map in the game. I think aesthetically it looked really cool, because the Asylum maps used to have this kind of like eerie fog to it, like this dirty brown color. The ground was like very muddy, and this like, yeah, the ground had this like muddy texture to it, so it was like it had like recently rained, but it wasn't raining, and it was just like everything was muddy and gross. And it looked like when you come up to like the asylum or to like the chapel itself, it was just like there was just this like kind of like rotted away structure at the middle of this muddy, dark, like mysterious wooded area. You know, it kind of had like this really like ominous kind of feel to it, which I liked a lot. I appreciated that. And I think it's funny because I look at the Autohaven map and I'm like, okay, they turned up the contrast too high and it kind of ruined the map. This map had really high contrast before, but like you could still see because it wasn't turned up too much, because it created those like kind of like deep shadows that were kind of like moody. And I think especially when it came to like, you know, Father Campbell's, where it had like the carnival in the back, and even like both maps, they have like the ambient fires that were around. It really like helped those lights stand out, of whether that be the fire or like the circus itself. Like it made the lights stand out like a lot when it came to like the map. Like it really made like it feel like the map was darker with still having the ability to see. It made the map feel darker while still giving you the ability to see, which was like chef's kiss. It was perfect. It was like great that way. They just had to update the graphics, but instead the new Asylum maps, they like took all the color out and took all of the contrast out. So it just feels super washed out. Like the whole map is this like grayish yellow color, and it's just gross, but not in like a cool sort of way. It's like it's just unremarkable in almost every way. Like it just does not look good. It like they took all the personality out of that map, and it's really sad for me, who like, you know, for Father's Campbell used to be my favorite map, and now the map is just like so unremarkable and so meh. It's there, it exists, but it's just like, it's just not that great. It's just kind of around. So I don't know. If there's one thing I could bring back from old DBD, it would definitely be adding personality back to the maps, because like I think like the reason the maps had so much personality and style to them is because they didn't have the same like graphical fidelity to them, so they had to like basically like dress up the maps to look as cool as possible to like make up for the fact that the graphics weren't on par with like other games in the genre. Well, not even in the genre, but like out there in general. But now we're in this situation where like now the graphics are updated, and they just kind of like said, okay, we'll just let the graphics stand on their own, and we won't deal with the style thing anymore. And I miss that. I miss when the game's maps actually had style and like atmosphere to them, because it just doesn't feel immersive or interesting anymore. It just kind of makes me sad. So yeah, if you had to bring back one thing from old DBD, what do you bring back? Probably not the map thing. You're probably thinking something more gameplay related, but what do you bring back? Let me know in the comments below. Other than that, I think that's it for me. I'll see you in the next video, and if I don't, I'll see you when I see you, friends. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.